So if you're thinking about the future, absolutely draw on your experience and expertise, but it's not enough. The scan wide is looking around to see what's already out there that might have some ideas for you, might give some clues for you. You might be able to generate some insights. The look far is a bit that's looking into the future. And people often say to me as a futurist, tell us what's happening in our industry, whether it's marinas or insurance or the education sector, tell us what's coming up. And that's good, that's the looking far bit. But I reckon you can get a lot of value by doing the middle part of that, scanning wide. Okay, so let me give you an example and let's do a little bit of an exercise here. So this is looking at the outside and looking in. This picture here is one of Google's early self-driving cars. Okay, so this was, I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago now. Google created this prototype, and it's kind of a little cool, funny looking car there. And most people hadn't heard about self-driving cars. So I used to take this photo around on my phone, and I used to annoy people that I met by saying, hey, look, this could be the future of driving. What do you think? So there are different reactions to that. But the question I'm asking you here is, what impact is that going to have on various industries? So let's talk about car-related industries first. So obviously, self-driving cars are obviously having an impact on the car industry. Okay, what are some other industries that might be affected by self-driving cars? Okay, let me give you another example. Insurance, car insurance. So maybe you don't need to get insurance because you're not driving the car. So insurance came up. Delivery, yes. Ubers and taxis, absolutely, right? So in fact, Uber's investing a lot of money in self-driving because their biggest cost are paying drivers. Safety, absolutely. And actually relate to that here in where it says hospital emergency departments, because it will absolutely, if all the cars on the road are self-driving, it will reduce the number of accidents and fatalities on the road. So you could look at hospital emergency departments, also think about funeral directors. Traffic lights, yep, we don't need traffic lights if all the cars are self-driving. Heavy haulage is already happening. Yeah, public transport. So you don't have to own a car. Maybe all the cars are public cars. They pick you up, take your kids to school, come back, and they don't come back, they go to somebody else. Okay, freeway building. Yes, schools and parents. Police and traffic control. Okay, now this is good. This is fantastic. And in a group like this, a very creative group, and obviously we're going to get some examples here, right? Some really relevant examples. Now, let's take your industry. Okay, so what's your industry? What's your sector? What impact will self-driving cars have on your industry? Let me give you an example. So I speak at conferences. People come together for a conference. The MC introduces me. I give my presentation. I walk off to standing ovation and rapturous applause. That's my job. That's big part of my day job. What will self-driving cars mean? Well, what if people are in their car and because they don't have to pay attention to the road, they're actually spending more time consuming information? So am I going to be part of creating online material that people are watching in their car? Because that may be the place where they do learning. Okay, doesn't mean conferences go away, but it could be a place that could be relevant for me, and it's going to change change what I do. Let me give you, okay, so now I'm asking you for your examples. Think about your industry. Think about your sector. How will self-driving cars affect it? So Jeff, in education, students will be able to get to school without parent assistance or buses. Absolutely. Let's go a bit further, Jeff. What happens if your car is a classroom? Right? What if we might still have schools, but can students learn in cars and self-driving buses as well? Okay, cars are operating models. Okay, absolutely, but give me an example from your industry. When there's so many drivers, yes, Sarah? So we don't need so many volunteers to drive our cars. Pete, assisted school transport for students with disabilities. Yeah, this one, the Meredith says more blur of work and home time. So what if your car is your office? okay, or one of your workplaces. Okay, so you don't use your car to get to the office, your car is your office. You can have meetings in your cars. Okay, Alan, yes, absolutely. Right, in mining, there's so many places where autonomous vehicles are being used. Okay, right, drink driving. Right, there's no such thing as drink driving now because we are not driving. We're not getting behind the wheel of the car. So is that going to affect hospitality? Is it going to affect venues? Is it going to affect the wine industry, the beer industry? So Jeff, another question, comment that you made, no requirement for cars to be parked at workplaces. Yeah, so definitely one that's related to cars is that the parking, the massive multi-billion-dollar parking industry will collapse because cars never need to park. Right, I saw some stats a while ago now, but it said in most big cities, 1/3 of the traffic is drivers looking for parking spaces. Now, whether that's true or not, whether it's maybe 1/10, it's still a huge amount for parking, as well as then having to find a place to park. Again, those big car parks become irrelevant because we don't need them anymore. Okay, Neil, impacts on house and unit building density. Yep, absolutely. It'll affect property and real estate. Neil, I'd like to know for you, how's it going to affect financial services? Because that's the industry that you work in. Yeah, pooled cars, right? So homes, the similar sort of point that Robert's making here. Okay, so we spent quite a bit of time on this, right? But it's a really, the reason I've done this is because this is what we should be doing. We should be looking, when we're looking outside in, sometimes knowing what's coming in the future is already happening somewhere else. And what you're looking for is what impact is that going to have on us. And just being able to gather that intel and then say, here's an insight that's going to affect us in 5 years' time, in 3 years' time, or maybe in 6 months' time will be really valuable when you're thinking about the future of work.